I've been strength training for 10 plus years. I started out extremely skinny and weak. I was 6 feet tall, 132 pounds. You could say I have bad genetics by every definition of the word. I got these skinny joints, pencil neck, I'm not that huge. Yet I've still been able to get to almost a 250 kilo squat, 160 kilo bench press, and a 300 kilo deadlift. And it wasn't easy. It took a ton of trial, error, and learning, experimentation. And I faced all of the same struggles that you are facing right now. I trained way too hard. I ran the generic intermediate training programs. I had a library of them from Reddit, like NSUNS 5 through 1 and stuff like that. Felt beat up, sore and tired all the time. Questioned if I had low testosterone. I was overthinking my training program all the time. Now that I've learned a lot of the things that I'm about to share with you in this video, my training has become so much easier. I know exactly how to get strong. I know what to change when progress stops moving. And I've been able to help almost 1,000 guys to achieve the same results through my one-to-one coaching. And in this video, I'm literally just going to condense down 10 plus years of training and coaching knowledge so that you don't have to go through the same process I did of watching all these different influencers, making all these mistakes, wasting a bunch of time. Because if you just listen to these things, you're going to get bigger and stronger than me in half the time that it took me. And if you want me to literally just hold your hand and guide you through it one-to-one, then click the top link in the description. You can hire me as your coach. You can just switch your brain off and I'll do everything for you basically. So let's get straight into it. In this video, I'm going to tell you the most common mistakes that you are probably making as an intermediate guy, because I made all these same mistakes along the way. And now that I don't do them and now that I've learned from them, I make so much quicker progress. So the first one, the biggest mistake that I see in intermediate guys is that you have fuck around-itis. And what I mean by that is you just mess around all the time. You change your training program all the time. You overthink everything. You listen to all these different fitness influencers who all say different things. Like you start a new training program. So maybe you go on like GZCL. You're like, this is the program. I'm going to get really, really strong on this one. You're excited to start. Then you get a bit of the way through, you do a couple weeks, progress isn't as fast as you expected. So you go back into the program, you start changing a few things, or you watch this YouTube video and Jeff Nippard said, I need to do this accessory exercise. So you add that into your program, then you add something else, and you just keep changing things all the time. And it would be like trying to put a puzzle together with a blindfold on, is a good analogy to use. You're just trying to guess how to make progress. You're going from program to program. There's no process, there's no method to it. You're just trying to hope that you randomly land on the perfect training program that's going to get you really, really strong. And it doesn't work like that. If you want to get really, really strong, and I will give you the blunt advice, all these other fitness influencers, they're going to sell you some bullshit that you have to do this magic accessory exercise or you have to do this method of periodization. If you want to get really, really strong long term, it's so simple. You just need to find out what works for you as an individual as fast as you possibly can. As soon as you figure that out, you just stick to it for an insanely long time, like 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That's it. That's the key to getting stronger. Now, the process of actually figuring out what works for you, yes, this is a little bit complicated, but you need some kind of method or some kind of process to it. Your current approach where you just jump from program to program, make changes randomly when you need another dopamine hit of something fresh in the program, it doesn't work. Like I said, it's like trying to put a puzzle together with a blindfold on. It's so random. You need some kind of methodical process, okay? Really simple. I'll share with you my process. I'll give you the really condensed, really short version. If you want me to do it for you, again, click the link in the description to hire me as your coach. But my process is basically we write 1 week of training, which we call a microcycle. So we just write 1 week of training. This is your like ideal training split. It's based on volumes, intensities, frequencies that you think might work based on previous training data. Doesn't need to be exact at first. We just need a starting point. You write that 1 week. We then run that 1 week with no changes. We just try and add weight to the bar every single week until you can no longer add weight to the bar, okay? Let's say that you're able to add weight to the bar for 5 weeks in a row. Your training blocks will then be 5 weeks because in week 6, you drop off. Week 7, you drop off again. So your training blocks are now 5 weeks. Now we simply just do training blocks of 5 weeks. After every 5-week block, you're going to do a bit of a review process. What worked well? What didn't work well? Are you feeling fatigued? Do you feel understimulated? Then go into the program and just make a couple small changes. 1 or 2 changes, move into the next block. Repeat the process, move into the next block. The more and more blocks you do, and you can hopefully see how this process comes together, 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, you've come up with a training block that has just evolved over time. It's built up around you. You don't need to jump from this program to this program. You just stay with one fixed program, and you just iteratively make small changes over time. That's how you get closer and closer to optimal, not by keep changing things all the time. We want as few moving parts as possible, okay? There is huge value to having a coach do that, because two brains working on your program are better than one. Sometimes as well, you just need an objective look on your program. For me, it was really beneficial to have a coach, because sometimes he would just say to me like, no, we're not changing the program. Like, good training is boring. And he would just tell me, you need to just stick with this if you want to get strong. You don't need to chase dopamine and have loads of fun in your training. So stop changing things so much. Come up with a methodical process that gets you closer to what works over time, okay? Now, the second biggest mistake that I made personally, and I know that you make as well, is that you think you know everything. Now, I see this in the YouTube comments all the time. Like, go look at my videos and you'll see guys who bench less than 2 plates correcting me on bench press programming or bench press advice. Now, I'm not saying I know everything in the world about the bench press, but like, if you're benching less than 2 plates, you probably don't know that much. If you knew that much, you wouldn't be benching 2 plates. So you need to accept that there are many, many things that you do not know about training. This is why I hired a coach myself. I am a professional coach. I make a living from this, and I still hired a coach, because you will realize when you train for longer and longer and you learn more and more things, you are going to realize that there are so many things that you don't know. There are so many aspects of training that I don't know, hence why I talk to experts, hence why I hired my own coach. So the sooner that you come to this realization, the sooner that you realize that your arrogance around training is holding you back immensely, you will make far, far more progress, because you will be more open to learning, you'll be open to new ideas, you'll be open to hiring a coach. You need to always be open to learning, okay? There are always going to be people who can share with you things about training, who can improve your knowledge base. So you do not know everything about training, okay? The sooner that you come to that realization, the better. Now, in terms of learning resources, I would highly recommend that you go check out Barbell Medicine. I like Reactive Training Systems. Sean Noriega puts out great content. Swolfessor puts out great content. Steve Donovi from PR's Performance. I would also highly recommend that you check out Greg Knuckles' research review he's part of, Mass, as well as Powerlifting Now is a great resource as well. So as soon as you put your ego to the side, you understand that you do not know everything about training, you'll be so much more open to learning, and you're going to accelerate the process so much. Like, when I was a student in university, I was like 21, 22, 23. I remember I was so arrogant. I thought I knew everything about training. There was guys way bigger than me in the gym who would tell me like, you're not doing your bodybuilding nearly hard enough. Why are you not going anywhere near failure? And I'd be like, oh, but this study said the fatigue from a set to failure on this bodybuilding exercise isn't optimal and stuff like that. And I stayed small and weak for years because I thought I knew everything. So as soon as you accept that, you're going to speed up your results in the gym massively, okay? Now, the next mistake that a lot of intermediate guys make is you follow what everyone else does. Now, there is a reason that this term lifetime intermediate exists. It's because you intermediate guys are doing the same thing. Like, I can describe to you probably what you're doing in your training without even knowing anything about you. I know that you probably follow a cookie cutter training program like NSUNS 531, GZCL, Candito, or you use like an AI like Juggernaut app or something like that. Or if you don't, you probably write your own program that you've taken elements from all those programs and put together in one like messy program, basically. You probably train very hard. I bet you only do the squat, bench, and deadlift once, maybe twice a week for relatively low volumes. Probably most sets are near failure. You grind a lot. You think that you need to force weight on the bar. You half-ass your accessory lifts, like your curls, your rows, and stuff like that, because you're so beat from the main lifts that you don't have the energy to do them. You need to deload all the time because you're so sore and beat up. There's no structure or periodization to your training blocks. You probably don't track your food because you think you eat the same foods every day. If any of this sounds familiar, it's because all you intermediate guys train the same way. And I trained this way for many years, and it's why I got stuck as an intermediate as well. So once you accept that you need to stop doing what everyone else is doing, you need to take a new approach, you will make far more progress, okay? So yeah, most intermediate guys are following very, very similar approaches. So I would highly recommend that, like I mentioned before, get yourself on an individualized training program as soon as possible. I have some second link in the description. They've worked for hundreds and hundreds of guys. I get great feedback on those all the time. Or if you want something individualized, hire a coach. you can work with me or another coach, or just use that process that I mentioned to you before, where you write 1 week of training and then you iteratively adapt it over time based on your individual needs, okay? But if I can give you one piece of advice in this video, please, if you don't want to be a lifetime intermediate, stop doing what all the intermediates do and just get on something better as soon as possible. Don't try to make those poor training programs work. Just get on a better training program, okay? I wish I would have done that way sooner. Now, the next mistake. A lot of you guys will cope and you will say, I don't care about strength, I don't care about the squat, bench, and deadlift, or I don't want to get really strong. Like, I've switched to flat dumbbell press instead of bench press because the range of motion is better or something like that. Or I'm going to focus on my mobility, my stretching, or functional strength or something like that. And all these things usually are just a big cope because you don't know how to get strong. And I did them all. Like, I got really stuck on the squat, bench, and deadlift. I didn't know how to get stronger. So I became like a mobility guy. I started doing mobility all the time. I was stretching, foam rolling, and stuff like that. And I see it in the comments all the time where a guy would be like, oh, I don't care about squat, bench, and deadlift now. I do like farmer's walks and sandbag carries and stuff like that because it's more functional. But in reality, it's usually just because you ran out of ideas, you ran out of progress, you don't know how to get things moving again. So a lot of guys will just cope and say they don't care about strength. Now, let's be honest, and if you're watching this video, you probably are like myself, you like to be a bit more blunt, a bit more direct. All of us guys want to be strong. There is no guy watching this video who would not love to just be stronger. Like, there are no downsides to being stronger, but tons of benefits. It's good for your confidence, for your health, for your mental health, for your mood, everything. Every guy wants to be stronger. There are tons of benefits to it. And if I told you watching this video right now that I could just like hand you a 6-plate squat, a 4-plate bench press, and a 7-plate deadlift, most guys watching this video would take it instantly. I definitely would as well. Now, you don't need to cope and say, I'm going to switch to this other training style because I can't get stronger. Instead, just accept that you need to learn more about training. Maybe you need to get help. And I think the best realization that I made in my training was just going and hiring a coach, swallowing my pride. And I remember before I took the call with my coach, like, keep in mind, like, I have a master's degree in this. I did my bachelor's as well. I've done actual scientific studies. I've coached tons of people, competed in powerlifting. And still I went and hired a coach because you get to a point where you just don't know everything, like I said, and you need a different approach. And it's why a lot of guys lose their motivation with training, because how fun is it going to be to go and train in the gym regularly when you're not hitting PRs, the weight on the bar is not going up, you're not improving or getting any better? So I can understand why a lot of guys will say, like, I'm quitting that, I'm going to try something else. But instead, I would encourage you to persevere with it, to stick with it, to follow through on the goals that you said, and just accept that maybe you need to go get help, you need to go get a coach. Because I hired my coach and my lifts have been stuck for like literally years. And I went into the call arrogant. I was like, is he really going to be able to help me? Like, I know a lot about training too. Spent 3 months with him, PR'd all my lifts, learned loads. I understood that there was so much that I did not know about training. And I realized the value of 2 people working on my program rather than me just trying to be arrogant and do it myself. So don't give up on your goals in the gym just because things get challenging. Be open to help, go hire help, hire yourself a coach, or get on a better program, okay? The next one, you train way too hard. I'm not going to go over this one in depth because I mentioned this in every single video, but you grind way too many hard sets near failure. You train the squat, bench, and deadlift to failure. You do volume work, like 80% and above, where the last reps of the set are really hard, really slow. Therefore, you can't train the main lifts frequently enough, so you can only do them once or twice a week. And you should know by now, if you're watching my channel and you watch this video, stop training to failure on the main lifts. Dial down the intensity closer to 60 to 75%. I've got tons of videos on this. I've even got free training programs. I'll put one on screen at the end of the video. But just please stop training so hard. Harder training does not equal better training. Better training equals better training, okay? We need to just find a sweet spot that produces results without beating you up and producing a ton of fatigue, okay? I'm not going to go over that one too much. The next one, your nutrition sucks. Now, I know this because I do about 20-25 calls per week with guys exactly like you watching this video. And I already know that you're not eating like you should be. You probably don't track your food because you think you eat the same things every day. Probably don't eat enough protein. You eat a lot of convenience or processed foods, or you eat out a lot. You don't eat enough whole foods. You barely have any fruits or vegetables. You probably put little to no thought into your pre and intra-workout nutrition, like the meals you eat before the gym or anything you have during the gym, like carbohydrates, electrolytes, and stuff like that. you just don't eat like an athlete. You eat very similar to the average guy on the street, and that's why you look and might perform like the average guy on the street. If you want to perform like powerlifters or strength athletes or people who are really, really strong, you need to eat like them because it makes a big difference. Tracking your food intake is going to have a big impact on your body composition. Eating more whole foods, more fruits and vegetables is going to mean you are healthier, you feel better, and therefore you can perform better in the gym. You can lift longer for more years. You won't get sick as often, so you need time off the gym. And all these things really contribute to you being in better shape and being stronger. So you need to place a big emphasis on it. I'm going to come out with a full video on nutrition. So if you have any specific questions, like post them in the comment section down below of things you want me to go over. But nutrition is a massively underlooked aspect of strength training. A lot of you guys are coming from the background from these like old school strength coaches like Mark Rippetoe and people like that, where he's telling you just eat as much as possible, do a gallon of milk a day and stuff like that. And that's why you've got out of shape, you've got a belly, your waist is probably over 37 inches, and you don't like the way you look. So I'm going to put a full video out on that soon, okay? Now, the next one, I've got two final ones here that I want to go over. This one, you lift like an amateur, or you lift like a noob in the gym in terms of your technique. So a lot of you guys, I'll review video of my new lifters, squat, bench, and deadlift. And oftentimes in the squat, like people are completely off balance, they're not hitting depth. The bar is like drifting forward of their toes. They're doing like a good morning on the way up. Then they're doing their bench press completely flat on the bench. No leg drive, no arch. The elbows are flared all the way out here. They might not even touch the bar to their chest. The deadlift, you're just yanking the bar off the floor, not taking the slack out. You've got the head down here, so your upper back's really rounded. These are all such like basic entry level mistakes to the main lifts. But I think they get overlooked because either guys just don't think about them, or they watch random fitness influencers who are teaching like bad methods to perform the main lifts, or there's just no attention at all. So this one is such an easy fix. Study the lifts, like go watch the guys who perform at the top level on these lifts, take some of the elements, incorporate it into your own setup, then start recording your lifts on a regular basis. So literally just set your phone up, use a tripod, use a water bottle or something like that. Review your lifts. You don't have to do it in the gym. Maybe you can do it afterwards. And then I would highly recommend, this is something that really, really helped me, is to open up a notes page, write down 3 headings, squat, bench press, and deadlift, and literally just write down your setup step by step, really methodical, so that you can do it the same every single time. And it will just become robotic. It will become second nature. You won't need to think about it. It will become very refined. You're not going to waste energy on the setup. You will know, I go under the bar on the squat like this. I stand up, I step back with my left foot first, then my right foot, my stance is this wide, my hands are this wide on the bar, like literally put that level of detail. And then you can even, as an added side part, you can even just put 1 or 2 cues on there that you're currently working on. Like on the bench press, for example, maybe you're working on your elbow positioning and your bar paths. You might want to note that down. So when you're in the gym, it kind of serves as a cue or a reminder of what you're focusing on, okay? It's going to speed up the process a lot. And then again, not to keep saying it, but just get yourself a coach to look at your lifts. It's going to speed up the process drastically rather than you trying to just do it on your own. Now, the final one, and this one is really, really important. I think this one is massively overlooked. And this is something that I didn't really consider until probably 6 or 7 years into lifting. But you are surrounded by weak men that you do not want to be anything like. So this applies to your friends as well, but the people you are training with, like you're probably going to commercial gyms, most of you, and you're training around guys that you don't want to be anything like, or maybe your training partner, like he's a lazy guy who's not very strong because he doesn't train very hard. But it's very difficult for you to excel and to become really, really strong and to get in the best shape of your life when you are surrounded by guys who they don't have that. The weak guys, like you're probably in your commercial gym, and even if you deadlift 4 plates, like everyone's looking at you, they see you with all that weight on the bar and they're like really like mesmerized by it. If that's the case, you need to go to a better gym. You need to be in a gym where you're the weakest guy there, where you're in not so great shape compared to the rest of the people there. You need to feel a bit threatened, a bit intimidated, because otherwise you're not going to push yourself to get to that level. If you feel like the big fish in that small pond in your commercial gym, you're like the biggest, strongest guy there, you're never going to push to do more. You're going to be so comfortable. You need to surround yourself with people who are better than you. They are bigger, they are stronger, and it will really push you. And not to mention, you will learn things from these guys as well. When I've trained with guys who are much stronger than me, like powerlifters who are actually strong, like I'm strong for like a commercial gym, but there are powerlifters who are like strong. Like I'm nothing compared to some of these powerlifters, many powerlifters. And when I train with them, it's crazy how my RPEs go down at the same weight. I'm able to put 10 more kilos on the bar at the same effort level. Everything moves so much faster. I take each set with so much more intent because I know there are eyes on me. There's some kind of expectation, some kind of pressure, and you need that as well. You never have it, and that's why you don't push yourself. That's why you skip training sessions. That's why you don't train as hard as you could. It's why there's no intent behind your lifts. You just go in and you just tick the box. You need to be around people stronger than you, okay? Now, again, with my coaching, I have a community group. All my lifters are in a community. They post PRs there. They share their wins. There are some freakishly strong guys there. And if you are around that all the time, you're constantly seeing 3-plate benchers, 5-plate, 6-plate deadlifters. It will push you to another level and hold you accountable, okay? Now, if you need more help, again, click one of those links in the description. You can hire me as your coach, or you can just run my training programs. I really hope this video helps you. I hope it helps to save you a bunch of time, because if I would have known some of these things and I would have come to some of these realizations maybe 5, even 10 years earlier, I would have made so much more progress. I'd be so much more far ahead of where I am currently. So I just wanted to share this with you so that you can learn from my mistakes and not waste a bunch of time as well, okay? So thanks so much for watching. If you want a free training program to run, I have one right here. You can literally just go steal that, no strings attached, free of charge. And then if it's good and you see a benefit from it, maybe you can come back to me and I'll help you on a higher level, okay? Any questions and comments, stuff like that, post them in the comment section down below. Make sure you subscribe for future strength training videos. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video.